Russian assault groups continue their continuous attempts to find weak spots in the defense of the 66th Separate Mechanized Brigade, named after Knyaz M. Khrabry in the Lyman sector. The key task that the command sets for them is to penetrate Ukrainian territory and force firearms operators to find their positions. Ukrainian UAV crews have become a thorn in the side of the occupiers, constantly disrupting their plans. The Russian command also did not spare personnel at all, sending more and more groups to be destroyed. The result is that Ukrainian soldiers are destroying most of these groups, even on the approach to forward positions. Thus, the losses of the occupation army are only increasing. Ukrainian defenders are inflicting heavy losses on Russians in the Lyman sector, though the enemy still holds a significant manpower advantage, the 66th Separate Mechanized Brigade said. According to the soldiers fighting in the area of responsibility of the 66th Mechanized Brigade did not subside throughout the summer as Russian invaders tried to break through Ukrainian defenses. As a result, more than 2,200 enemy troops neutralized by the fighters of the brave brigade. Notably, almost 60% of hits this summer ended with the death of Russians on the battlefield, the brigade reported. The soldiers also said Russian commanders allow evacuation from the battlefield only in cases of severe injury. Despite the high number of eliminated troops, the enemy still holds a manpower advantage. Despite significant losses, the occupying force maintains at least a six-fold numerical superiority in the 66th Brigade's area of responsibility, the defenders said. On September the 1st, serviceman Stanislav Bunyatov, author of the Telegram channel Sniper Speaks and known for the call sign Osman, reported that Russian forces were advancing toward the city of Lyman and were just 7 kilometers away. There are no good forecasts yet for the Lyman front, he said. According to him, Russian forces are actively working to cut off Ukrainian logistical routes, which allows them to advance. Meanwhile, analysts from the Institute for the Study of War, ISW, assessed that Russian occupation forces are preparing for a fall offensive. Experts believe the enemy will focus efforts on capturing the remaining parts of Donetsk Oblast, particularly in the areas of Dobropilya, Pokrovsk, and Konstantinivka.
President Donald Trump said Friday the U.S. will work out security guarantees for Ukraine. According to Associated Press speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, the president was asked about plans to help Ukraine in its war with Russia and said, "We'll work that out. We'll help them." He said he wants to save lives and that when it comes to security guarantees, Europe will be first and by far. He didn't offer more details but said, "It'll end all of a sudden. It's going to come together, you watch." Trump also issued a stark warning to Venezuela's military against further provocative action. "If they do put us in a dangerous position, they will be shot down," Trump said. The Defense Department said late Thursday that 2 Venezuelan military aircraft flew near a U.S. Navy vessel, calling it a highly provocative move and warning Maduro's government against further actions. The Venezuelan military action came after the U.S. earlier this week carried out a deadly strike on a boat U.S. officials say was carrying drugs from Venezuela. Trump and other administration officials are warning that they will continue to carry out such U.S. military strikes to stem the flow of illicit drugs by Latin American drug cartels. Asked about the immigration raid in Georgia that resulted in the detentions of some 475 people at a sprawling Georgia site where South Korean auto company Hyundai manufactures electric vehicles, Trump said he had only recently learned about it, but said ICE was doing its job. "As I understand it, a lot of illegal aliens, some not the best of people, but we had a lot of illegal aliens working there," Trump said. "They came through illegally. They came into our country. So we have to do our job."
And what about the security guarantees aspect of that with Ukraine, sir? Well, we'll work that out. We'll help them. Look, we want to save a lot of lives, so we'll do something with that. I think people expect that. We'll help them. Europe will be first in by far, and they want to be first, and they want to see it end. Europe wants to see it end, and it'll end. It'll end all of a sudden. It's going to come together. You watch. Yeah, did you want something right? Right here. Yeah, behind you, please. Yes.
You haven't been shy about taking bold, decisive, offensive action to protect American values. Strikes in Iran, the strikes this past Tuesday on the positively ID'd Tren de Aragua narco-terrorists. Is that going to be a critical function of the Department of War?
It depends on the individual instance, you know. We don't want drugs coming in from Venezuela or anybody else or any place else, and we'll be tough on that. We don't want human trafficking. We don't want to see people coming in where they open their prisons from all over the world and they dump their prisoners into our country, which is what they did in the Biden administration.
Also mentioned Venezuela. I want to ask one more follow-up question on that. On the U.S. strike on a vote tied to a Venezuelan drug cartel, the Maduro regime is pushing back today. In fact, they say the U.S. seeks regime change through military threat. Your reaction to those words, and also, would you like to see regime change in Venezuela?
Well, we're not talking about that, but we are talking about the fact that you had an election which was a very strange election, to put it mildly. I'm being very nice when I say that. I can only say that billions of dollars of drugs are pouring into our country from Venezuela. The prisons of Venezuela have been opened up to our country. They've taken their prisoners, the worst prisoners, murderers, Tren de Aragua. The worst prisoners that you can ever imagine are now happily living in the United States of America. Now, many of them we've gotten out. It's not easy to get them out because of the liberal system that we're working with in many cases, not in all cases. And when I see boats coming in, like loaded up the other day with all sorts of drugs, probably fentanyl mostly, but all sorts of drugs, and we're going to take them out. And if people want to have fun going on the high seas or the low seas, they're going to be in trouble. I will tell you, boat traffic is substantially down in the area that happened. They called it the runway. It's a runway to the United States. And boat traffic is very substantially down on the runway. You can imagine why. I think anybody that saw that is going to say, I'll take a pass. I don't even know about fishermen. They may say, I'm not getting on the boat.
What happens
I'm not going to take a chance.
What happens if Venezuela flies jets over U.S. naval vessels again?
Well, I would say they're going to be in trouble. We'll let them know about that. We heard that happen, but it wasn't really over, not like they described. But I would say, General, if they do that, you have a choice of doing anything you want, okay? If they fly in a dangerous position, I would say that you can, you or your captains can make the decision as to what they want to do, all right?
Sure. Sir, how close did they get, Mr. President? You said they didn't go over.
Say it?
How close did they get? You said the planes did not
Well, I
go
don't want
over.
to talk about that, but if they do put us in a dangerous position, they'll be shut down.
Great. And then on the Hyundai incident in Georgia with the arrest of some workers, construction workers at the plant, have you heard any feedback from Hyundai?
I just heard about that a little while before the news conference, and I would say that they were illegal aliens, and ICE was just doing its job.